Okay, this is going to be a thing about, I've been talking about this, about our president nowadays. I look at the guy as nothing more than a freeloader who doesn't have to know anything. I've always said, see, we should make our president or most all of our politicians, city council members pass a written test to prove their knowledge. But here's the thing: when the president doesn't have to prove his knowledge because he has so many secretaries to do his work for him and tell him what to do. He doesn't need to know anything. He just needs to be voted in by the fucking followers. That's all he needs. He doesn't need to prove he's intelligent at all. Because he doesn't do anything. The president is a freaking expensive doormat. That's all he really is. He's a meet and greet guy. He's not meant to know anything. He's a puppet. Yeah, he is a puppet. He's a puppet of all the secretaries. The secretaries run the show. He's just a stupid mouthpiece. You know? It's like, I always make a joke. It won't be long before we have to elect a U.S. presidential duty patrol that will have to wipe the president's ass and wipe off his dick in the bathroom, okay? Because the reason will be, well, a foreign leader might walk in and might want to shake my freaking hand or something else, A foreign leader might want to come in and shake the president's hand or his fucking prick. Who knows? I mean, I make a joke. We will elect a U.S. duty patrol. Presidential duty patrol. I mean, his nursemaids do all his work for him. The president doesn't do shit. He gets a free salary. That's why they want the fucking job, okay? These fuckers want the job because of the benefits, and they retire multimillionaires. They don't give a damn about leading the country. They get their time in this. It's like a celebrity thing. They get their time in the sun. They get their free living for 4 years. They get the free $500,000 a year. They don't have to touch. Their children get free education. This is why they want to be president. They don't give a fuck about leading the country. They don't lead the country. They're doormats. So I'll never vote for a worthless piece of crap freeloading politician ever again. They're all freeloading, lazy, take advantage of the system, low-life pricks. That's what politicians are. They're all that way. And like I said, if they're not that way, they get sucked into the system and become that way. And it's just like, it's so funny because you see, when, say, what was it, Hillary Clinton was getting grilled by, what was it, the Congress, whatever. It's called political grandstanding. The reason nothing happens is because they all have shit on each other. They all have shit on each other. It's called, I always say this, it's the most popular mail service. It's the most dependable mail service in America, in the U.S., in the U.S., is the blackmail service. The U.S. blackmail service. That is the most, foolproof mail service in our country is the U.S. political blackmail service. They all have shit on each other. That's why nothing ever happens when politicians grill CEOs or other politicians. Nothing's going to fucking happen because they all have crap on each other. Okay? It's like throwing crap, I mean, what is, they should change that word to, what is it, what is it, what is it, what's that one thing they say when you throw crap and it sticks to you, I'm rubber, you're glue. When I throw shit, it sticks to you. Well, you should be, I'm rubber, you're a politician. When you throw shit at me, it sticks to you. Politicians are just shit. They're shit. And it's like, that's what a president is, a freeloader. That's why he wants a job. Fuck president. I swear to God, I wish you can get rid of the federal government. It causes us way more grief. Way more, all we have the federal government really for is to fight foreign wars, to make them richer and make their people richer and their cronies richer. I mean, that's the truth of the world. And they sent the poor people to fight. I mean, things haven't changed since the 18th, 17th. It's even worse. You got the rich sending the poor to fight the war while the rich get richer and the poor die off. And why do you do it? Why are you sacrificing your life for these poor sacks of pussy ass, Gumby, jellyfish, spineless jellyfish, They got the devil's tongue. Why? I say these politicians have a devil's tongue. Politicians, you look at them, they're ugly fuckers. And ugly, they're insecure because they are. They're probably the ugliest people on the planet. Turn out to be politicians. They're always the ugliest motherfuckers on the planet. They're always the grossest, I mean, if you met them in real life, you'd be like, they're mutants. And politicians are like fucking ugly mutants. They are. Look at them. They're all deformed. They're all like, you know, can't tell if it's a man or a woman. Most politicians, you can't even tell what fucking sex it is most of the time when it comes to politicians. You know, I mean, most of them. They all look like, well, just like in high school, they're the class presidents that got their ass kicked by the jocks. I mean, that's what politicians are, you know. Most of them, none of them ever, there's only maybe 2% ever served in the military, maybe 5% of politicians actually served in the military, actually, did manly things or whatever. I mean, most politicians are, they did nothing in their real life. They would be nothing if it wasn't for them being politicians. They would be nothing. They would be bums. They would be homeless. They would be on the street because most politicians have absolutely no talent. Being a lawyer to me is not mean you have talent. You just have the devil's tongue. The devil's tongue. I call him Barack Obamination because I look at him and I've seen paintings of Lucifer and they look like him. I think he is. They keep saying who's supposed to come up. Not Lucifer, but he's supposed to send. Who's he supposed to send again first? I think Obama's him. I think Obama's fucking evil. Obamination, Barack Obamination. You know, and it's like you look at all these most of these politicians. They look like they're built like Gumbies. They're mostly all built like Gumbies. You know, and it's just like I mean, I don't know. It's like, why would you want to follow these Gumbies around? I mean, usually when you want to follow someone, they want to be someone that you idolize, like someone who's built really well, or he looks good, healthy wise. Why would you want to follow half these politicians? I mean, they all look like they're about ready to keel over. They're in such bad shape. They're like the worst of everything. These people who run for politics, and we keep voting them in, and they're like the worst example of everything. Politicians are like overall the worst examples of they're the worst example of man. Politicians are like the worst example of man. If the aliens came down and wanted to see, what our leaders look like, they'd laugh in our face. It's like, you elect these amoebas? You elect these amoebas to run people? I mean, that's what it's like. Politicians are like the amoebas, man. They're like, like I said, they don't look like they definitely don't look strong. None of these leaders they look like a bunch of pussy, whippy little class presidents. They look like, nerds or geeks. All these politicians, they're all nerds. They're all geeks. They're all mean. They're not smart. They're not smart because, like I said, politicians, they don't have to prove their knowledge. They get voted in because they have no knowledge. They have the devil's tongue. I said this. I'm gonna say this again. A long time ago, God, when he made people, okay, he has to be perfect. God has to be perfect. He can't make mistakes, okay? He has to be perfect. He has to do whatever it takes to save face, that he's perfect. What he did is he made the politician people, okay? He made the normal, good-looking, average-looking, healthy, people. Then he made the politicians, the amoebas, the jellyfish, the mutants. He made these mutants over here called politicians. Little, short, fat, blimpy, politicians. All these gross, ugly, politicians. He made the mass of them over here. He looked at me and goes, man, I really fucked up making these politicians. I mean, goddamn, man. Some of the worst putty work I've ever done in my life. I mean, look at them. They're either fat, they're either built like Gumbies, they're either built like amoebas, And he's like, I have to be perfect. I can't, how am I going to fix this mess of politicians I made? These unattractive, I mean, who's going to follow these butt uglies around? Who's going to follow these butt ugly politicians? I mean, usually when you follow someone, like I say, you follow someone who's, statuesque, good look, on the outside, at least, who's going to follow these bunch of clods, these politicians, these clods I made? He goes, I got to fix this. I'm perfect. So you know what he did? He reached down, grabbed Satan's tongue, pulled it out, cut Satan's tongue out. He crumpled it up. He dropped it in all these mutants' mouths, the devil's tongue, bits and pieces in the mutants' mouths, and they became the politicians. They became the Hitlers, the Stalins, the Bin Ladens, the Abominations, the Bushes, George W. Bush. They became, Ronald Reagan's. They became the, Jimmy Carter's, all the mutant looking, you know, you know, and it's just like name one president besides Arnold Schwarzenegger. Well, he was out of shape when he was president, but name another politician that ever looked healthy. Name a politician that ever looked healthy. One. They all look like they're like the worst of health of anybody. And you want to follow. Think about what these leaders are all either very old, decrepit. Seriously, they're in horrible shape. Almost all politicians are in horrible physical shape. You know, and we want to follow. It's like following Lumpy around. It's kind of like how would you put that? You know, I mean, it's just like it doesn't make any sense why we follow these. And they're like, look at our leaders. They're ugly. They're in terrible shape. They're why do you want to follow these mutants around? These ugly, out of shape, old. It's just what the hell? How do they get in charge? How these? Because they got the devil's tongue. The devil's tongue. They have no conscience because I like to say it. I mean, most ugly people have no conscience because if they had a conscience, I don't think they would be able to succeed in life if they had a conscience. You know, they're just very. I don't know, man. It's like some of these people. They're like heavy people. They're very good manipulators. It's like what they do is they get you feeling sorry for them and they use your sorrow against you. That's what a lot of these type of not so attractive people do. They use your. They do. They get you feeling sorry for them because they make fun of themselves. They crack jokes about themselves, like harsh jokes, and they wait for someone to go, oh, no, no, you're wrong. You're good looking. And then they use that person to take advantage of. The people I've met that have been heavy, that's what they've always done. I've ever met like someone who's a little overweight. They always do that. They always use your sympathy against you. And you don't even realize it. And I've noticed that. So, but it's like, look at the average politician. Why do we follow? Why do we vote these people in? Look at the ones running now. I mean, they're all disgusting looking people on the outside. They're all disgusting looking. Trump is a fat blimp. You have Cruz, who's another fat blimp, or whatever you call it. I don't know what he is. And then you have that Farina. She's about as dog looking as it comes. And you got Hillary. I mean, come on, man. And you got Bernie Sanders, an 80-year-old man. I mean, what the fuck is wrong with us in this country that we keep voting these mutants in office? Oh, I'm not. No, I want to be proud about. Yeah, you know what? I want to go back to being proud of what my president physically looks like. I want to go back to that because we've gone away from that. Okay, we've gone away from the statuesque person. I want to bring the statuesque person back in America. I'm tired of these fat slobs. I'm sorry, these gross looking, unattractive, out of shape people running the show. They've had the show long enough. They took it over. I don't know when they took it over and they run with it. It's time for the statuesque, good looking, in shape people to rise again because these clods, I call them clods, they've been running the show too long. And they're secretly they are the ones who are insecure, and they're gonna and it's like they can't rely on their looks to get by, so they have to rely on money. So they learn to be more conniving to get the money because they know that if you really need something to live, you're gonna do whatever it takes to get it. And a lot of these not so attractive people, okay, they know they're not gonna get by on their looks. They're not gonna be successful on their looks. Okay, so they need the money. The only thing that gives them power and the only thing that makes them good looking is the fucking money. The money makes them good looking, the power, That's the only thing that makes them attractive to people, their money and power. Them themselves, doesn't work. So they have to do that. And I'm tired of these clots. I'm tired of these, I don't like looking at, and these politicians are always the worst. I mean, they're always the most unattractive people, and they're always the stupidest people, and they're always the most useless people. And you look at their background, they never did a damn fucking thing in their life on their own. And everything they tried to do in life, they failed at it. So, of course, if he becomes president, he's going to fail again. So we got to wake up. Fuck the president. Like I said, I wish we could get rid of the federal government. Just scrap the whole thing because the only thing they really do is, like I said, you get these ugly politicians, these physically looking, ugly, unattractive, insecure politicians They're sending all the big, strong, secure people to die because they don't want the competition. See, that's what's going on. That's why they send all the brave, good-looking, strong, strapping people. That's why they put them in the military and send them to fight, because all these ugly politicians, physically unattractive politicians, they want to get rid of the competition, and their competition is the strong, strapping, looking person. That's the politician's enemy, and that's why they put them in the military and send them off to die because they don't want them coming back to America. Okay, and because they want to get rid of their enemy, their enemies, the ugly slob politician is enemies with the good looking, strapping, secure military man. They're enemies. I mean, I hate to say it. It does come, but you have to go by the eye. Outward appearance. Outward appearance is what controls the world in a weird way now. Because that's the way I look at it. I mean, look at your average military man. They're big, they're strong, muscular. Those are the ones that the aliens would think would be our leaders. If the aliens came down, he would say, everything's backwards here. The military men, the big, strong, strapping, in shape military man or military people should be the leaders. These Gumby, unattractive, no talent, insecure, pudgy, they're the ones that should be off fighting the wars. See, the aliens go, you have it backwards. What's wrong with you people? And I'm like, what is wrong with us? Why are we sending all the good looking, because I mean, think about the future. I mean, if you want human race to remain, attractive and good looking and proud of the human race, you're going to want the good looking people. I mean, it sounds kind of like Hitlerist, but I hate to say it. Hitler wasn't good looking either. He was he was part of that. He was an ugly little guy, and he had the devil's tongue. He was a politician. Hitler was a politician. Just like Reagan, just like Bush, just like Clinton. He was a politician too. They're all bad. Every one of them's bad. They're bad people. I think they're the demons. The demons are the politicians. All the politicians represent hell. They're all demons, okay? So, I don't know. I've had it, man. I mean, I'm never voting again. Why vote? Why I don't respect any why? Respect Trump for what? Respect Cruz for what? Respect this Clinton fat ass bitch for what? Respect Bernie freaking Sanders. Respect any of them for what? For what? For what? Really? Because, like I said, unfortunately, our country is made up of mostly of followers. Our country, America, United States, is 75% followers. The world, count the world. The world is 75% followers. Sheeple, okay? I don't know if they put something in the water a long time ago that just created people in the mindless sheeple, like I wish what we do in America one year. I'm not voting ever again. I am never voting ever again. Why? 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 Someone tell me why. Send me a message. I'm 48 years old. There's no reason to vote anymore. There's no reason to respect any of these worthless, freeloading politician fucks. Okay, no nothing fucks. No talent. Gumbies. Okay. They're mutants. I call politicians mutants, mutants from hell. That's what they are. It's like, why? Why do we keep listening to them? Why don't we people just rise up and get rid of these geeks? Get rid of these geeks. Okay, why don't we just rise up and hang them by their damn jock straps? They don't have jock straps. They're geeks, okay? Why don't we just, we the people need to grab these geek politicians and hang them up by their freaking Superman underwear again. That's what we need to do. Grab them by their freaking, nerd pants and hang them up again. Because these geeks and nerds and, they've had to run this world long enough, man. It's about time, the people take these old politicians. I mean, if we had a war, the politicians would be done in about half an hour. Maybe there's like handful of politicians, but most of them, they'd be, shit. Damn. So we should that's a problem. If we put politicians to fight the war, we'd be taken over in no time. Because these politicians, like our politicians are the biggest pussies on the fucking planet. Physically the biggest pussies. Mentally the biggest pussies. The only thing they have that keeps them is that fucking devil's tongue. All the presidents of the United States have had it. All the politicians have that. Most real estate agents have this. It's called the devil's tongue. All rich people have this. And what does it take to have the devil's tongue? Have no conscience. Be an ugly troll, looking mutant. You need to have that. Be insecure because you're an ugly troll mutant. All right. And like I said, the only thing that makes them worth a damn thing is money and power, and they're gonna, you know. And I hate to say it, ugly on the outside, ugly on the outside, ugly on the inside. Most of the time, ugly on the outside, ugly on the inside. Yes, I do believe that. I mean, and when it comes to politicians, ugly on the inside, ugly on the outside, and like I said, 99% of them are ugly on the fucking outside. Ugly as sin. Ugly as sin that they come from. Hell. All right, well, this is my spout out about the government because you know what, man? Who you vote? Look at what you're voting for, man. Just look at it. Fuck what. Don't use your ears anymore. Actually, go by the marketing. Use your eyes. Look at what you're voting for next time. Look at our candidates. Just look at them. Do they look like the type of people that you would be proud to follow by looking at them? I mean, like, would you want them? Like, would you want them to be your friends? No, I wouldn't. I mean, they all look like horse face. I mean, that Farina's a horse face. She's. It's like, what's wrong with us? You know, it's like the most disgusting people on the planet. We follow the most disgusting physically and mental people on the planet. And I already told you why. They want all the good looking people gone. See, that's I think what's going on. All these ugly people want the good looking people gone, and then they can do whatever they want. See, ugly and good looking people, they're enemies. They're enemies. And the ugly people are waging this war, and they're conning their way into getting rid of the good looking people. So the ugly people, it's going to be nothing. If it's nothing but ugly people, everybody says, well, looks in the eye of the beholder. No, if you're like 5 foot tall, about 300 pounds, or if you're like 5'5", 250, and you have a body of a freaking pig, I don't know. Some people find that attractive, but they're the ones who are running our country, so we have no choice but to like that because they run everything. All these ugly mutants run everything. They seem to, I don't know how they do it. Just like in football, look at the football owners. Look at the team owners. They're all ugly old guys. And look at the players. They're big, strapping young men, right? The players, the guys who play in the game, they're all big, strong, strapping, attractive people. And the owners of the teams, they're all like politicians. They're these old, dried up, you know what I'm saying? It's like they're all these old, dried up fossils that run these. They're all in their 80s, 70s, 60s. Even the young owners are ugly as piss. Look at was it Snyder, Dan Snyder of the Redskins, that freaking geeky boy. That pudgy geeky boy. He has a devil's tongue. That guy. It's like what the hell? We need to turn this thing around. We need to get where the owners are the good looking people, like the football players, and the guys who are getting beat up on the field and brain damage are going to be these ugly mutant old people. It's called a cycle of life, man. Get rid of the old so the young can live. Get rid of the old. That's how you cycle around. Get the old people out so the young people have a chance. The old people are, we get older, we get a certain age, you just become evil. But I'm just saying, think about everything. It's like the ugly people are winning the war. The physically ugly people on the outside. I think that it's like their plan. It's weird. It's like ugly people represent hell, just like everybody thinks. And I think that way. That's how it is. Most ugly, ugly. Beauty's not a beholder. Beauty's not a beholder, but most physically unattractive people are going to hell. They're from hell, and the good-looking people are from heaven. Good-looking, talented people with talent. Politicians are from hell. People are from heaven. Politicians are from hell. Politicians are straight from hell. And CEOs and billionaires, they're all from hell. Look at all the billionaires. They're ugly as shit, too. All the billionaires, the CEOs, the damn politicians, they're all from hell. They're all ugly-looking mutants. Look at Bill Gates. Look at Warren Buffett. Look at any billionaire you ever seen. They're all ugly, physically ugly, disgusting-looking sons of bitches, Steve Jobs, It's like, Jesus, what. So, yeah, I don't like ugly people. physically, because you turn out to be the worst of the worst. Hitler, Stalin, Bin Laden, Saddam Hussein. So actors don't count because actors are the most screwed up people on the planet are actors. Because you know what an actor is? What do actors do? They dress up and play make believe like a freaking 5-year old. That's what they do. They're messed up. To be an actor, you gotta be mentally, you have to be mentally immature to be an actor. You do. I mean, this is why I think a lot of actors commit suicide, like good actors, because they know what they do is worthless. It doesn't do anything. It's actually embarrassing what they're doing. And what actors do is actually a lot of them think to themselves, they actually want to contribute something real to society, and there's nothing real about being an actor. It's all make believe. It's all pretending to be an actor. And I think it gets to some of these guys where, maybe this guy who pretends he dresses up and plays a fireman in a movie, or he dresses up and plays a detective in a movie. Okay, he maybe secretly wanted to be one in real life, but never was mature enough ever to do it. So he became an actor. Immature people become actors. People who never physically mature normally, they become actors. That's what they do. What do actors do? Tom Cruise, Top Gun. He dressed up and pretended and make believe he was a fighter pilot like a 5-year-old does. All of his movies is Mission Impossible. He dresses up and pretends to be a spy like a fucking 5-year-old would do. Okay, that's why they are screwed up in the head. Actors are mentally screwed up in the head. They're lost little children that never grow up. That's what all actors. Tom Hanks. I don't care who it is. I don't care who it is. They're all fucked in the head people. 200, 300 years ago, they would have been locked up in insane asylums. Okay, actors, they would have been locked up in an insane asylum. You got people going around dressing up and acting like something else. That's like crazy. That's crazy. That's a mental problem. And we pay them millions of dollars to do this. Because the fans, I hate to say it, I call it the masses. That's why I call the fans the masses of asses. Typical lame-born loser, arrogant prick, mind-manipulated, superficial dickwad society asses. You're just, we need to do something about 75% of the people in this world, man. We need to come up with a antidote for, I don't know, like I said, I think a long time ago, they put something in the water to brainwash or something, 75% of the people in this world to be followers, to blindly follow, to, it's like labels. Like 75% of the people follow labels. If you name something better, it can be the same nasty thing, but if you give it a better name, 75% of the people will buy into it, like the pet rock. Remember the pet rock? The guy came up with the rock and everybody bought the rock. I mean, that's a good example of the Pepsi challenge. They had that Pepsi challenge, Pepsi Coke, where they took two of the same pop. They had two Pepsi cans, and they put a Coke label around one of the Pepsi cans, and they had people taste both cans, and they were still, most of the people were still picking the pop out of the Pepsi can, even though both cans of pop were the same freaking pop. They were both Pepsi. So there was living proof that people, are so manipulated that the marketing, and why does it work on 75% of the people? How come all the people don't buy into that shit? I don't buy into it. I stopped buying into it years ago. It's like, why is that? Some people get it, it's like, what's wrong with 75% of the people in this freaking world, man? And that's why this world will never be, get any better, because we have 75% of the people in this world are watchers. And why is that? It needs to be figured out. Why are they just so scared? What makes them so scared, One thing it has to do with a long time ago. Because, I think it has to do with the 50s and 60s why we're so screwed up. Because back then, everybody was like pressured to get married by the time they were 21. Because of the communist union states winning the Civil War. That's why we're so fucked up. The wrong side won the fucking Civil War. The wrong side won the Civil War in America. The wrong fucking side won. The independent Confederate states should have won that fucking war. This whole country would have been a hell of a lot better off. It'd be a lot more free for everybody. You wouldn't have the same 5% of people in the United States following the 25%. It's 75%, not 99%, because 25% of the people, I look at, let's see, 1% of the people in America are the creators. 25% of the people in America, I'd say, are the players. and then a 75%. Actually, it has to be 24%. 1% of the people equals 100. 1% of the people are creators in the United States or the world. 24% are the players, and 75% are the creators. I mean, are the watchers, the fans, the watchers. The watchers represent 75% of people of this world. Because if you look at a soccer, football game again, you have two guys that own both teams. Then, say on a football field, you have what? Like I said, you have 80. You have what was it? You got like let me say 45 players on each side. You have like 90 players on the field, and then you have 100,000, like 75,000 watchers. In the stadium watching. 75% of the people watching the 20%. It's like, what's wrong with the 75% of the people? What's wrong with them? What's wrong with them? You know, it's like, first of all, the football player in the NFL, they're making the millions of dollars. But they're making the millions. Let's say a baseball game where there's really no injuries. Let's take a baseball game. You have the baseball player making millions of dollars to play a game, have fun. Then you have a guy in the bleachers who probably isn't. You can't afford to be there. Most of the people go to games. They don't make that much money. So you have this guy who doesn't make much money paying this guy's $1 million salary to watch him have fun and play the game. It just dawned on me like, what the fuck? Why be a fan? Why? Well, because you're probably physically out of shape and you're lazy. Most fans I think they're lazy people. They represent the lazy people of the world, fans. Anyway, that about do it. I'm out of here.